Generation Z is lonely. Statistically, it is the loneliest generation and is headed for disaster. I am a grandpa of this generation, being from the year 1999, so I have a sort of protective older brother feeling when I think about this generation. How can I help, I think? In our darkest hour, we all need a true brother to help us up and get us back in the fight. Everyone longs for a true friend that sticks closer than a brother. With the culture of acceptance of everything, our generation has lost the idea of a brother telling us when we are wrong. A true brother will tell you to your face when you are wrong, knowing the latent potential within you, knowing that you are meant for greater things. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, and has not another to lift him up. And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. For women, I can't teach well on finding a good sister, but I do know the same two things apply. A true friend sticks closer than a brother, and better is open rebuke than hidden love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. If you look at Japan, it might help paint a picture as to where our generation might be heading. There is a social phenomenon known as the hikikomori, where young adults are withdrawing from society and seeking extreme social isolation. The government estimates there are over 1.5 million of these people, but there are likely many more. In America and all over the world, church decline has increased drastically. Gen Z has the lowest presence in the church today. Church has always been the place for community and fellowship, where men and women would make friends and meet new people. Take that away, and include our generation's lack of social skills because of social media, and you start to see why our generation is so lonely. There is hope. Find a true brother that would give his life to save you, one that cares deeply to unlock your true potential, and you be willing to do the same for him. Start by going to church. There are plenty of men there who would make good brothers. Either become a good brother/sister to someone, or seek out a good brother or sister that will help you. Greater love has no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends. Jesus. Men are suffering in today's world, even if they don't realize it. They are taught day in and day out that by being who they are, men, they are toxic. Teaching is done best when it is tailored towards the individual student. Men love adventure. They love exploring the outdoors. Schools punish young boys for playing when we should be utilizing the joy they have for playing and tying it into their overall learning experience. Men desire adventure, deep down. We were made partly to keep this world, to name the animals, and to obey the Lord. Now, there is a reason men love Lord of the Rings. There is a reason they desire to go embark on an epic quest themselves. Men and women need to recognize that they were created to serve God, and many trials and storms they shall face, but their house shall not fall if it is built on the rock. God created this earth. For millennium, people have been trying to find meaning in this world, but the purpose is as clear as day. It is made evident in creation. If we go into nature and look at the earth, we can see plainly that a creator created this. Creation demands a creator. In various ways we reflect our Creator. We create art as an innate response to our Creator's art. We must have been created in His likeness. Now the question begs, why does evil exist? Evil is a corruption of good things. Logically, it seems that there was an intended good at one point, and now things are fallen. The world has changed. Death exists after all. Now let's review so far. The world was all good. Now it isn't all good. It is fallen. It is distorted. We often put the blame on God. We exclaim that He is to blame for the world's wrongdoings. Are we not all guilty? We all fall short of a perfectly good world. Every single one of us is stained by this evil. We all have thought evil thoughts. We all have lied. We all have added to this massive amount of evil that has accumulated over eons. Has anyone in history ever offered a cure? A path back to the once good world? If you were thinking about Jesus Christ, then you are correct. He did offer a way back to the Father, a way back to a right standing and right relationship with Him. He who is God and who knew no sin, paid the ultimate price that we deserve on our behalf. He paid the fine that we owe by suffering an excruciating death, by being nailed to a cross by those he sought to save. Clearly, we have fallen away from our intended good position before God, but God has offered a way towards redemption, towards reconciliation. He rose from the dead, proving his divinity and proving that he alone can conquer death and sin. Our sins deserve death, and God paid for our sins with his own death. Jesus said, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." The main quest in life seems to be to serve the one true God. He has delivered us from the domain of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of his beloved Son, in whom we have redemption for the forgiveness of sins. For by Christ all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body of the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in everything he might be preeminent. For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. Do you trust Christ for your salvation? Will you follow him and lead others to follow him? That is the main quest line for all of us, sharing his love, telling the world of his divinity, his reign. Generation Z, find a true brother or sister and obey the Lord your God.